Hello, it's Patrick, and welcome to some more Tesla news. This is Tesla Trip, and I go over some of the most exciting stories that I've heard in the past few days, as well as we do videos on tips, tricks, product reviews, and cool little hacks to get the most out of your electric vehicle. So one of the most exciting things that's happened to me lately is I got in on the full self-driving beta. So this is 10.3, and it's really cool. My wife got it because she's the safest driver in our family. And then a week later, I got it. And it's very interesting. If you watch my last video, I did my first drive, and it was very impressive. It was a Sunday drive. Since then, I've had weekday drives, and I'd say maybe it's only ready for the 97. It takes some weird turns really fast when you least expect it. So you totally have to be alert, and ready to take over because it acts fast. That said, it does some really amazing stuff, and I just wanted to caution everybody that's getting in on the beta this Friday here with a 98% score. Be really careful and report. There's a little record button that you're supposed to hit whenever you encounter an edge case where it's doing something that it shouldn't, and you can press the little talk button and say bug report and what the issue is, as well as emailing the dev team directly. Because if you just go online and just say, oh no, it's going to kill us all because it does crazy things, well, it's the beta. it's not perfect yet, and that's why you're supposed to be alert and paying attention to driving. And the constructive feedback is the best. So if you can give the most amount of detail possible to the development team, then they can figure out ways of getting it to work better in those situations, as opposed to just saying, it sucks and Tesla's going to, I can't believe I paid $10,000 for this, or whatever the case may be. Because I think Elon is right. It works 99% of the time really well, or maybe 95%. But that little percentage, it's not so great. And it's scary when it happens. So you just got to be careful. It's just like the early days of autopilot, except for the car goes really fast in areas where you would normally not expect it to. Let me know what you guys think. Please like, subscribe, share this show. If you want to be notified, click the little notification bell, and then you'll get notified whenever there's a new show. So Tesla is actually sending out emails saying they're going to enforce strict full self-driving beta rules on drivers. If you're paying attention to your phone, they have a camera on you. And so if you're not being attentive enough, and especially if you're not holding the wheel and it keeps disengaging because of that. It sounds like it's a 2 strikes you're out program. You get 1 warning and that's it. They are not going to tolerate people doing tricks where they put something on the wheel and sleep in the back seat. The first person to get in a really bad accident is just going to kill full self-driving and set it back years in development. So, again, please be very careful. 10.4 is coming out this Friday, and it's going to roll out to about 1,000 people that have entered the beta queue at a time, instead of, it could be tens of thousands of people, just because they want to slow down the rollout, because there was a big issue with 10.3 when they first put it out last Sunday, and it was doing some crazy stuff like triggering the brakes when it shouldn't, like really hard braking, or disabling the drive and messing up the safety score, even though it should have not done anything to the safety score. And they only rolled it out to a few hundred people and then rolled it back and reissued it again on Monday. And that happened to me. I updated right away, and then I lost the full self-driving beta, but it came back. So luckily they were able to fix it, get it out right away. 10.4 is coming out supposedly at midnight Friday to scores of 98 or higher. And it's supposed to improve left turns of fast traffic and stopping at gates. And it's crazy when it does left turns. It'll creep out there, and when it sees it's good, it just goes for it, like a normal person does. Although, when you're trying to drive safe with the safety score, you don't. So, kind of a contradiction there. But it's fun. It's exciting being, the full self-driving beta testers. If you were sleeping under a rock, you probably didn't hear about Hertz ordering 100,000 Teslas. And now they're talking about maybe doubling it. So like 150 to 200,000 total. Elon tweeted out earlier today, as of this recording, Hertz didn't actually sign a contract yet. And they're paying full price for these Tesla Model 3s. They're actually not getting any priority over the customers. And Elon's saying they're still constrained by batteries and chips. And if you order like a standard range, you're out, I think, until August right now. It keeps changing. Some people get June. I guess some other parts of the country get August. It's a long wait for a Tesla Model 3 standard range. Now, if you're going for a long range, it's only a few months out. And if you're going for a performance, you might be able to get it this month. So they're just kind of giving priority to the higher margin vehicles, which makes sense. And that's why Tesla right now is at an all-time high for its stock, because their demand is huge, and they're doing very, very well. There was a really cool update that happened this Friday that enables you to watch Sentry mode live from your phone. So if you didn't get the full self-driving beta, maybe you got this firmware. One of our work Teslas, actually 2 of our work Teslas got it, because it has the boombox feature. Not only can you spy on your car and see what's going on around it at any time, you can talk through it. And it's got a little voice disguiser, so it makes you sound like an evil robot or something, like back away from the car, like RoboCop or something. It's pretty fun. Now you have to have the premium connectivity features enabled, so it's that $9.95 a month that you have for the modem enabled in your car for the cellular. Not a big deal. You don't have to buy anything extra. But if you don't have the boombox, you can't talk through the car, but you still can remote view the video, which is a lot of fun. It was also discovered in the Tesla app that there's new paint colors coming. And Crimson Red is one that I think Elon's been driving around, and it looks pretty sweet. It's almost slightly like a dark reddish purple maroon color, I think. But it's pretty neat how people are able to kind of look into the code and see what the new colors are going to be. Crimson Red multicoat, Abyss Blue multicoat, and Mercury Silver Metallic. Let me know what you guys think below. Like, what color would you like? Because I think it's great that they're having more colors. They start out with a lot of colors, and they kind of dwindled them down to the most popular colors. But now there's so many Teslas on the road. There's just like tons of white Teslas. There used to be tons of black Teslas, but now that they're selling so many Teslas that they're all white, because nobody wants to pay the extra $2,000 for a different color, or $1,000 or whatever, depending on SXY. It varies. If you missed what was happening at AI Day, they explained a lot about the Dojo, and Tesla released the white paper that explains a lot more, and Elon said that it's more important than it may seem. And it's going to be the fastest AI training computer, supercomputer. It's pretty cool what they're doing is they're taking the full self-driving chips that are in the Teslas, and they're just clustering them together, and then they're taking those clusters and making those clusters and those clusters into clusters, and it's huge. It's just this massive processing power. And it's kind of hard to grasp how big of a deal this is. But basically, all the full self-driving data that they're gathering from the test fleets, whenever you send clips in and they're analyzing it and they're training neural nets, it's just really hard to process all of that, especially if we've got 1 million Teslas on the road submitting data. This supercomputer on the back end is what's going to be handling all that. Once you're getting to the point where it's good enough to drive itself, that's how you get those, like, where it's 99.9% safe. When you get those extra nines, Elon refers to it as the March of Nines. This is how they're going to achieve that, with this super high-end server that's going to build the smartest neural nets for the weirdest edge cases and be able to get the driving to be that much safer than a human being. So it's pretty cool. It sounds like it's in development right now, and they're going to start utilizing it here next year. Teslarati posted an article about how the new Model X is hiding an understated but incredible secret. It's basically way lighter. Yeah, it's got a curb weight of 5,219 pounds compared to last year's Long Range Plus, which had 5,437 pounds. It's a 4% weight reduction, and part of it's because the battery pack is 14% lighter. Interestingly enough, it's also 30% more powerful, with the front motors being rated at 443 kilowatts and the rear being rated at 248 kilowatts. And the old one had 180 kilowatts rear and an AC induction of 189 kilowatts. More reports of the 4680 battery cells that they were showing off at last year's Battery Day are going into production next year. That explains, part of the push for the Cybertruck being delayed till next year. I thought this was really a cool report. The Tesla Model 3 is now the fastest selling EV of all time, with 24 units sold every hour. So they got to hurry up and get those gigafactories online in Texas and Berlin, because they got some Teslas to deliver. And to help do that, they're changing to the standard range vehicles to the LFP battery packs. So those are going to be the new, they just updated the website today, rear-wheel drive Model 3, and probably they're going to bring back the Model Y, the lower cost variant of it. The cool thing about the LFP battery chemistry is, even though it takes up more physical space, it can be charged to 100% and left at that without damaging the battery. So that's what Hertz is going to have, and they won't have to worry about customers overcharging the battery. They can use the full range of the battery and not just when they're doing long trips. I was down in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago, and I got to check out the boring tunnel. And it was boring. Actually, it was really cool. It was like a nice looking subway, but much smaller tunnel. The Teslas were lined up, and they could take you around to the different areas of the convention center. I wasn't attending a convention at that convention center, so I didn't get to actually ride one this time. But if it really goes everywhere in Vegas, the airports and all the different casinos all over, I think this could be pretty cool. I like the monorail system. Getting to ride around in a Tesla would be really cool. And eventually, if they open it up to the full self-driving Teslas themselves, like the ones I have, then you can just go right in and pop right out, which is eventually what they're going to do, hopefully. And they can multi-layer this thing, right? So right now it's just one tunnel, but they could go, one tunnel for the taxi-like ones that are ultimately going to be self-driving for pedestrians, and then they'll have another layer down that could be for the car owners that have the self-driving go in and pop out on the other side. It's definitely unique, and it's a good showcase for Las Vegas, where they have kind of new emerging technologies for people to kind of experiment with and test out. Back to the Cybertruck, there's been video of the alphas prototypes running around, and it was confirmed on the Q3 report that they do have alpha trucks. They're getting closer to production on those Cybertrucks. They say a year away at the annual shareholders meeting, but maybe sooner. It depends on how well, I guess, the new battery cells are coming along and the materials that they need, and actually catching up with the other models that they're production constrained on right now. Tesla is now worth over $1 trillion because the stock's over $1,000 per share. It was about $1,200 per share at the making of this video. It's kind of bumping around that range. And last but not least, the EV tax credit's coming back. Tesla probably won't qualify for all of it because it's not a union, but it'll still be a pretty decent amount. It'll be better than the $7,500 depending on how the voting goes. It could be as much as $12,500 how the current law is written, but it's changing daily. Tesla drivers would most likely get around $10,000. It's hard to say because the Tesla prices keep changing, but eventually I'm sure they'll get back to around the $40,000 range, probably just a hair under. So if that new Cybertruck that's $39,000 will end up being $29,000, which is pretty cool. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I am Patrick. I'm also known as Walking Crow on Twitter. If you wonder why that's my name, that's actually my real name that my grandmother gave to me. I'm a Northern Arapaho, and I live in Wyoming on the Wind River Reservation. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. Oh, and I'm going down to Sonoma Raceway. So I am confirmed and being sponsored by Holley for the first annual Holley High Voltage Experience. It's November 13th and 14th. And you can go to the website and buy tickets if you want to see this massive amount of electric vehicles and Teslas racing, autocross, drag race, and the main racetrack. There's going to be a big car show. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of YouTube celebrities there. I think Rich Rebuild's going to be there, and Alex from E4 Electric is going to be there, as well as a bunch of others. Sign up. I'll be posting my trip down with logo from said Holley Electric, as well as racing with my car tagged. So thank you. Wish me the best of luck, and I will see you guys next time.